Hello, I'm Beth Joey and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. This is the channel where I paint my face, turn my camera on and talk about some books. First off, I want to start this video apologizing for the erratic filming schedule and uploading schedule that has been going on for the past couple of weeks. It has been absolutely mad at work at the moment. We're in the middle of results season, financial results for listed companies, which means that my workload has gotten tenfold. So when I get home, sometimes the last thing I want to do is sit down in front of a camera and talk, or I've got my work makeup on that I've worn all day and I don't want to like update it and make it all pretty again. So yeah, it's just been really lax at the moment. But we are turning a corner, and we are turning a corner with the assistance of WHATEVERTHON. Now, if you're not already aware, WHATEVERTHON is a month-long readathon hosted by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog. I'll leave the announcement video down below, but the whole basis of this readathon is that you read whatever you want for the month of June. But what I will do is run you through my TBR for the month of June for this particular readathon, which I have to say is incredibly ambitious. First, we are going to start with Loveless by Alice Oseman, who is, as you probably know if you've been watching my videos, one of my favorite authors. I am obsessed with the Heartstopper universe, but this is a sort of deviation from that a little bit. It's something quite different. This book follows Georgia, who is having a little bit of a crisis at the moment. She's never been in love, never had a crush on anyone, and she has this idea in her head of the perfect sort of teenage dream that she's supposed to be experiencing, falling in love, finding a partner, all those sorts of things, and she's just not having that experience. She starts university in a completely new town with her friends Pip and Jason, with her mind set on finding romance. But when her plans wreak absolute havoc on her friends, she's thrown into her own sort of comedy of errors. With new terms constantly thrown at her like asexual and aromantic, Georgia is more confused about her feelings than ever, and she's asking, is she forever going to remain loveless? As for the prompts that it fits on the bingo board, it fits the borrow a book prompt because I'm getting this one from my library. It fits different format and one word title, different format because I'm going to get it in ebook. It fits the last letter, first letter prompt so long as I read the hand on the wall right beforehand. And finally, it fits the purple cover prompt as well. Next up, we have A Marvelous Light by Freya Mask, which is said to be a sort of red, white and royal blue meets Doctor Strange kind of fantasy historical romance. It centers around Robin Blythe, who has more than enough struggle in his life. He's trying to be a good brother, a responsible person, and a harried baronet of a seat that has been absolutely gutted by his parents' excesses. When an administrative mistake sees him named as the civil liaison for a magical society, he begins to discover this world that's sort of operating beneath the life that he's always known, where he meets Edwin Corsi, who is sort of his counterpart in this magical society. As Robin's predecessor has disappeared and the mystery of what happened to him reveals some very unsettling truths, it throws the lives of every single magician in the British Isles into danger, and Robin and Edwin discover a secret that people have died to keep. Again, another super fascinating book, it sounds like. I do have this in hard copy, but I'm moving at the moment, so I packed it in my boxes, so I just don't have any of the books on me, so apologies for that. But as for the prompts that it fits on the bingo board, it fits the and of a and prompt. It fits the on a previous TBR prompt because it is in the 2021 releases I still haven't read video, which I will link up above and down below. It fits both favorite genre and hybrid genre because it is a fantasy romance, which is a favorite genre of mine. And then finally, it fits 2021 release. Next up, we have a book that I think I pick up at every readathon that I join because it is one of those ones that is just so simple and easy and quick and enjoyable to read, and that is Heartstopper Volume 1 by Alice Oseman. I think this will be my 4th or 5th time reading this book, but I just never get sick of it. I love Nick and Charlie so much. If you don't already know what Heartstopper is about, I think you are probably living under a rock, and I'm sorry to say, like, don't even come for me because it is such a big series at the moment. It's just been made into a Netflix TV show. It has so much love for it, and I am not the exception to that. I love this series. Heartstopper follows Nick and Charlie. Nick being a sort of macho man in year 11. He's in the rugby team. He's known as a bit of a lad. He's very popular in the school, whereas Charlie feels a little bit more awkward. He is an openly gay kid at his school, but he was outed the previous year and faced a lot of bullying as a result of that. The first book in this series follows Nick and Charlie getting to know each other, becoming friends after being seated next to each other in their form room, and then Nick discovering that Charlie sort of has a hidden talent for rugby. And as as their friendship starts to develop and they start to get to know each other a bit more and spend more time together, some feelings develop between the two that sends them both into a bit of confusion about where each other stands in this friendship and their sexual identities as well. As for the prompts that it fits, we've got under 300 pages because it's under 300 pages. It fits favorite genre as well because it's a romance, and that is another favorite genre of mine. It fits different format because it is a graphic novel. It fits one word title because I'm not counting like volume 1 as part of the title, I'm just counting Heartstopper. And then it also fits host fave because I believe this is one of Gav's favorite books. Next up in book number 7 we have Namesake by Adrienne Young, which is the second book in the Fable series. I read Fable quite recently and did really enjoy it, so I thought why not pick up Namesake in this readathon as well and continue with the series, or finish off that duology I should say. Obviously I'm not going to tell you what Namesake is about because that would be full of spoilers, but Fable follows a 17-year-old girl by the name of Fable who was abandoned on an island by her father 4 years prior to the events of the book, following a shipwreck that killed her mother. Using only the skills that her mother taught her before she died, Fable does everything she can to survive and gather enough coin to get back to her father and prove her worth to him and hopefully join him, as he is one of these sort of famous traders in the Narrows, which is where she lives. In order to get back to her father, she recruits the help of a sailor named West, and it sets them on a storm-filled, perilous, found family kind of journey. As for the prompts that this particular book will fit, Namesake that is, it fits the borrow a book prompt because I'll be getting it from the library. It fits both favorite genre and hybrid genre because it is a fantasy romance. It fits different format because I'm going to be getting an ebook, and it fits one word title as well because Namesake, one word. It also fits continue a series because it's the second book in a duology, and finally it fits 2021 release. Next up we have another Alice Oseman because this just kind of seems to be the month for it, and this time it is going to be Solitaire, which follows Tori Spring, who is the sister of Charlie, who is in the Heartstopper series, so it's all in that sort of Heartstopper universe. As for what this book is about, I don't actually know a ton about it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice because I just like choked on air, but anyway, ignore that. I don't know a ton about this book, so I'm just going to read you the Goodreads blurb, which says, "In case you're wondering, this is not a love story. My name is Tori Spring. I like to sleep and I like to blog. Last year, before all that stuff with Charlie and before I had to face the harsh realities of A-levels and university applications and the fact that one day I really will have to start talking to people, I had friends. Things were very different, I guess, but that's all over now. Now there's Solitaire and Michael Holden. I don't know what Solitaire are trying to do, and I don't care about Michael Holden. I really don't." As for the prompts that it fits, we've got borrow a book because I'll be getting it from my library, and then different format because I'll be getting it in ebook. One word title for obvious reasons. It also fits a last letter, first letter, so long as I read The Box in the Woods right before. Next up, I'm going to cover 2 books in this, which is The Hand on the Wall and The Box in the Woods by Maureen Johnson, which are 2 books, I think it's 3 and 4 in the Truly Devious series. Obviously not going to talk about what those 2 books are about because tons of spoilers, but the Truly Devious series is set in the illustrious Ellingham Academy, which is a private school for particularly gifted individuals. The founder, Albert Ellingham, wanted to make a place where learning is a game. However, shortly after the school was opened, both his wife and his daughter were kidnapped, and he was thrown into a game of his own, trying to figure out who the culprit was, what the reason for it was, and where they were. It became one of the great unsolved crimes of American history until one day Stevie joins the Ellingham Academy, determined to solve the crime herself. However, these 2 timelines become more interwoven than Stevie could ever possibly imagine, as some of her fellow classmates start to go missing as well. So super excited to continue on this series. It is spooky, it leaves with a cliffhanger almost every single book, so I really wanted to get around to this, and I've only just been able to pick it up from my library. As for what prompts the 2 books fit, we're going to start with The Hand on the Wall, which fits firstly the borrow a book prompt. It fits the prompt of and, as well as spooky book. It also fits the continue a series prompt, and lastly it fits the last letter first letter prompt, so long as I read A Marvelous Light by Freya Marske right before. For The Box in the Woods, it fits the borrow a book prompt as well. It also fits the of and prompt, as well as spooky book. It fits continue a series, and it fits the last letter first letter prompt, as long as I read A Marvelous Light right beforehand, which I probably won't. It fits purple cover as well, and lastly it fits 2021 release. So we're into the last 5 books of this video now, and I hope you guys are still here. Let me know down below if you are. Let me know what you're thinking so far of all these picks, but for now we are going to go with another sort of double book duo because they are the first and second book in a series, and that is the Girls of Paper and Fire series. This book is written by Natasha Nyan, sorry I'm not amazing at pronouncing names, and it's set in a world where every year 8 beautiful women are chosen to become paper girls and serve the king. It is both the highest honor they could ever achieve and also the most demeaning as well. However, this year a girl living in a remote village with her father is picked as the 9th girl, and she becomes a girl of fire. Put through weeks of brutal training in order to learn the charms and the skills in order to please the king, Lei does the unthinkable and she falls in love with this forbidden romance, throwing everything into absolute turmoil and threatening her world and her entire way of life and making her have to choose between justice and revenge. As for the second book that is in this sort of pair up, it's the second book in the series, which is Girls of Storm and Shadow, which I can only assume sort of follows directly on from the first book. As for the prompts that these books fit, we're going to start with Girls of Paper and Fire, and it fits the borrow a book prompt because I'll be getting it from my library. It fits the of, an, and prompt, and then it fits favorite genre and hybrid genre as it is a fantasy romance. Then going into Girls of Storm and Shadow, it once again fits the borrow a book prompt and the of, an, and prompt. It fits favorite genre and hybrid genre as well because it's a fantasy romance, and then it also fits continue a series. One book that I should have mentioned before when I first covered Heartstopper is I'm also planning to read Heartstopper Volume 4 this month as well. So again, not going to go into huge details about what that particular book is about, but for the prompts that it fits, we've got favorite genre because it's a romance, different format because it's a graphic novel, one word title for obvious reasons, continuous series, obvious reasons, and then purple cover as well. Now we're into the last two books, and we are going to start those last two books with The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, which is a book I have heard so much about, and this just seems to be the perfect chance to finally read it. From what little I know about this book, I believe The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows Addie LaRue, who 300 years prior to the events of this book, she made a deal with the devil to live forever. However, in this moment of desperation, she didn't realize that she would be living forever, but no one that she ever met would remember who she is. So you're following Addie through time, across countries, across centuries, as she meets people and is never able to make a lasting impression, is never able to connect with anyone until one day she meets one person in particular, a guy who remembers her the next day. This sounds fascinating. It has been so incredibly hyped up, so I'm so happy to be jumping on this train finally. But as for the prompts that it fits, we've got the and of and prompt, which I struggle so much to say. We've got recently hauled because I bought it very recently, but we've also got on a previous TBR because it's on my 25 before 25 video, which I will link up above and down below, but I didn't actually own it when I filmed that. We've got favorite genre and hybrid genre because it is a fantasy romance. We've got host fave because I believe it's one of Pris's faves on the spreadsheet that Maddie shared. And lastly, we've got last letter, first letter, as long as I read A Marvelous Light right beforehand. And we have finally made it to the last book. I hope you guys are still here, but man, this is going to be a long video, so I completely understand if you're not. If you're still here, let's have a little celebration, pat yourself on the back, all that sort of stuff. And I have to say, this was the hardest book for me to pick because I had gotten right to the end. I had a couple of those like annoying prompts that I always struggle to find books for, and I just needed to find something that would fit them. And this is what I came up with, and it is Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. We are going to finish this video with reading the Goodreads profile of this book because I know absolutely nothing about what it's about. I just knew that it sort of fit a few of the prompts and I'd heard of it before and I'd heard some good things, so I went with it. As for what it says on the Goodreads profile, it says, the Emperor needs necromancers. The ninth necromancer needs a swordsman. Gideon has a sword, some dirty magazines, and no more time for undead bullshit. Brought up by unfriendly, ossifying nuns, ancient retainers, and countless skeletons, Gideon is ready to abandon a life of servitude and an afterlife as a reanimated corpse. She packs up her sword, her shoes, and her dirty magazines and prepares to launch her daring escape. But her childhood nemesis won't set her free without a service. Harrowhark Nonagesimus, Reverend Daughter of the Ninth House, and Bone Witch Extraordinaire, has been summoned into action. The Emperor has invited the heirs to each of his loyal houses to a deadly trial of wits and skill. If Harrowhark succeeds, she will become an immortal, all-powerful servant of the resurrection. But no necromancer can ascend without a cavalier. Without Gideon's sword, Harrow will fail, and the Ninth House will die. Of course, some things are better left dead. Jumping into the prompts that it fits on the bingo board, it fits less read genre, I believe, because it is a sort of paranormal, spooky fantasy. It fits weapon on the cover because, I mean, if you just look at the cover, there are weapons all over it. It fits the borrow a book prompt because I'm getting it from my library, and then it fits the of, and prompt as well. It fits the spooky book prompt, and finally, it fits the different format prompt because I think I'm gonna get this one in ebook. Anyway, that is the end of my Whateverthon TBR video. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on the books that I'm planning to read this month. There are 14 of them, which is incredibly ambitious. I do not think in any way, shape, or form that I'm going to get through them, but one can hope. Let me know if you are planning to join Whateverthon, what team you are planning to join. I believe I'm on the Shelf Slayers team. As always, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell all down below to be notified when I release new content. It's a really easy way to help my channel grow and support your girl and help me out. And I will see you lovely people in my next video. Bye!